about how there's a diner off of Route 130
Yes.
near. You know how old the diner is? Actually,
No.
I didn't like.
Did you check?
No, I was gonna check. I mean, we can check right now, but I figured it's probably the oldest diner in. I mean, how many other diners in South Brunswick? Probably not even that many, right?
Oldest diner in South Brunswick? Yeah, probably.
It's probably.
Do you think
right?
that even is South Brunswick still?
I
That
feel
might
like
be
it
like-
is. It's like right
I don't
next
know.
to.
It could be. I'm not
It's
saying
like
it's
probably
not.
like right on the edge, because that bridge. The bridge right before that, like right after you cross Dayton Toyota, that bridge right there, to me is like the border of like South.
We need to check the state lines. Or not state lines.
I checked the
county.
map. I didn't really like. I didn't save any.
There's a
of this
really good map at the municipal building.
Oh,
'cause
yeah?
I've been there a lot.
Dude, we should record at the municipal.
Oh, we
building.
100%
That's such
should
a
record
good
the
spot.
dude. The public sewer and safety, the police office.
I want to just go up to the police. You've been in the police station I
Yeah.
think, before? I've been in there. You know how there's a guy always posted up at the front who just sits
Yes.
there like whatever.
Yes.
I want to just walk in there and be like, "Can we record right here? I want to record we record a South Brunswick podcast. I want to do an episode right at this very spot." He's gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you kids?"
He's gonna be like, all right, and now you're gonna get the full tour, baby. You getting arrested? No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Dude, I want to. If we were close with one of the police officers in South Brunswick, I'd be like,
Oh, I shouldn't say the name. We'll boot that out.
yeah.
We'll boot that out. My bad.
I-
But I know someone.
I know someone. I think he's retired though. I wanted to ask him, like, can we record in the jail? Like, you just lock us in.
That would be crazy, dude. Now you're just making up like
No, come
like
on, dude.
YouTuber.
If
Guys,
we were,
we're in the
close-
South Brunswick jail. Can we survive the 24-hour challenge?
If we were close with
It's
someone, there's
crazy.
no way they wouldn't let us do it. We're like, well, wait till the date's empty. Everybody's cleared out. I highly doubt there's that many people in there to begin with. This fucking South Brunswick. We'd just be like, can we just sit in the jail cell and just record an episode? They'd be like, what's wrong with you kids? You guys haven't got anything better to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can start the official episode.
Welcome to the 522 podcast.
Yeah.
Where the speed limit's 45, but we keep it 100.
Yeah.
And this time we're a lot closer to South Brunswick than we were, or 522
Yeah.
than we were last time. We're actually right off 522.
Yep.
And we're at my new place.
Yep, you bought a house in South Brunswick, which is crazy because we always thought none of us would be able to afford to live here.
Yeah, I never thought. Well, for what it's worth, I can't afford to live here. But we're making it happen.
You couldn't leave. That's really.
I couldn't
the-
leave. I just love this town too much. I basically looked all across New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this. Well, I'm going to mention this throughout every episode, but I love New Jersey, and the goal was to never leave New Jersey. It wasn't to stay in South Brunswick.
Right,
Yet
yeah.
somehow I ended up staying in South Brunswick.
Yeah, in a place where it's like it's weird because when we were younger, we probably passed this place like God knows how many times,
Yeah.
like billions.
Yeah, we
of
mentioned
times.
in I think the first episode, it's like by the Wawa. We're in Dayton.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say I did move out of my hometown. My hometown is Monmouth Junction, and now I'm in
Right.
Dayton.
Yeah.
So actually,
Technically,
your
you did
boy
move.
moved downtown.
You moved downtown, even though like it's like what 5 minutes away from
Yeah,
your
yeah,
original
yeah,
place.
Let's not get bogged down with the details.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, last time we were at the mall, we did the mall episode, Livingston Mall. Yeah, rest in peace, by the way. But yeah, now we're back in South Brunswick doing a real close to 522 podcast. This episode I kind of wanted to kind of like touch on the history of South Brunswick. I figured like this is a South Brunswick podcast, and for the first I guess 2 episodes we went a little bit into it, but then we kind of like pivoted away. So I kind of wanted to go a little bit deeper into it because I found a lot of actually really interesting things about South Brunswick that I was surprised about. I know you did too. But we could go with. I kind of want to talk about Taverna first, unless you have something else.
No, we can start anyway. Yeah, we can start Taverna. That's a good spot.
Not to dox you, but we're pretty close to
We're in Dayton, so
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, everyone. So actually, we'll just go over this first at the top of the show. Let's just quickly go over what is South Brunswick. I was actually mistaken in episode 1. I always said that South Brunswick is made up of 5 towns,
Yeah.
and then I think I listed off 4 and said I can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
It's actually made up of 6 towns. It's made up of Dayton, Deans, Heathcote, Kendall Park, Kingston, and Monmouth Junction.
Really? Oh, Cranberry's not a part of that? I
No,
guess it's
Cranberry
not,
is
right?
not-
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's not a part of
It's
that.
a little bit off of that. That's actually interesting. I didn't know. What was the first 2 that you said?
So I think this is I can say them out in the most population to least. Kendall Park with
Makes sense. Yeah.
this is 2020, by the way. So
Sure. Yeah.
Kendall Park 10,000, After that would be Monmouth Junction with 9,000.
Okay.
Then Dayton with 8,100. Heathcote with 7,100. Kingston, no, sorry. Then Dean's with 1,600, and then Kingston with
Where
1,500.
the hell is Dean's? Is it basically where the
Where is
school
Kingston?
Well, Kingston Lane, you know. Like
Oh
that's,
yeah, okay, fair enough.
but
You're
Dean's
right.
is like, I guess you could say what Dean's Road Hall Road or whatever. But
I
it's
guess
like
yeah. That like little area by
Brooks Crossing or
yeah,
whatever?
by
Or not
Brooks Crossing route
yeah.
by Route 130.
Yeah,
Where the
yeah.
orange key is, where the FedEx is.
I just didn't think it'd be called something else. It's weird that like I didn't even think it'd be a separate like kind of like town. I guess like it
Yeah.
feels like it's all the same thing. But that's pretty interesting.
My point being is basically we're in another small subsection of what is already. I mean, it's a pretty large town, but like for a town to be broken up into 6
Yeah,
sections, like yeah, I mean, if you say I'm in Dayton, I can only be in.
right.
So if you yell loud enough down a few miles, I'll eventually hear you type. But yeah, Taverna is one of the oldest places in South Brunswick.
It's one of the oldest, and I want to say that there's not a lot of like quote unquote restaurants in South Brunswick. It is probably I want to say the best restaurant in South Brunswick because like what would you say would even like come close in terms of like a quality, just incredible food kind of restaurant?
I mean, there's a couple Indian restaurants in South Brunswick. But in terms of just overall, like what is a great restaurant you would take someone in South Brunswick? I think Taverna like sums up South Brunswick pretty
Yeah.
well as just like what it is, an old school rustic
Yeah,
American Italian restaurant bar.
yeah,
That's in an old tavern.
yeah.
I don't think that's the original building though.
No, I did. Okay, so I did read a little bit of the background. I think it was originally on top of Wawa, right? Like that plot was the original.
So no, the plot that Taverna on is the original plot of there was a tavern built called the Whitlock Tavern in
Right.
1732. So this Whitlock Tavern in
crazy.
1732,
It's
this
insane.
not only outdates the country, which is 250 years old this year, it outdates Rutgers, which is 250 years old in 2020. This is like almost 300 years old.
That's insane.
We're approaching
That's insane.
so basically on that plot of land there was a tavern, and across the street, basically back then there weren't too many types of businesses. Everything is
Right.
basically a tavern or an inn of some sort.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, there was a tavern on that corner, and across the street there was another tavern run by this lady called Mother Van Pelt. I'm reading this off a website. And this is the crazy part, is Mother Van Pelt's General Store Tavern was known for being able to supply almost anything the customers requested when they requested it. And how poetic
Wow.
that's where Wawa stands today. I thought that was honestly beautiful.
Wait,
Like I
that's
shed a
so
tear when
true.
I heard that.
That's so true. Wow, that's so cool. That's
Yeah,
such a
I thought
cool
that was
detail.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like the modern version of a get whatever you need general store.
Yeah, basically.
that's cool. That's
you
really
need
cool.
you need Pokemon cards, cigarettes, the lottery, mac and cheese, hot dogs.
Yeah,
Hey,
milk.
man.
Your
You say
groceries.
they got
yeah.
it.
That's crazy. That's really interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, we'll put a photo on Instagram of what the original Whitlock Tavern used to look like. There is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
photo. It used to be white. Tavern is now just brown.
It's like a brick. Yeah,
wood,
it's like a brick building. Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah. Wow, it goes that far back. I did read that like South Brunswick goes pretty far back. I think it was like originally made a town in. It was like in the 1700s. But it was 1798. It began as like a farming.
Yeah, in
community.
2048, South Brunswick will turn 250.
Wow.
I did check that.
That's crazy. That's
on
insane.
February 21st, actually. So I share the same birth month with South Brunswick.
Really? No way.
Yeah,
Serious?
crazy. I wonder
Dude,
if South
it's
Brunswick is an
destined.
Aquarius or not, just like me. I gotta check that.
It's destined, man. Yeah, it was a farming community, but it was like I know it had rapid expansion because it was like in between. We're pretty much like right in between New York and PA and like Philly.
Right.
So it was like a huge kind of like crossroads town, like a lot of like I guess traveling, not like not merchants, but like, you know,
Mhm.
people who carried a lot of the stuff kind of like went over to here to settle and stuff. Like there was just a lot of there's a lot of business going on, you know, going from one place to another in between two major cities. I know that in the 50s and 80s, I think the population was like, I want to say somewhere between like 10 to 15K, like across the entire thing.
Right.
And then yeah, like you said, I think in total now it's like maybe closer to 50K
I
combined.
think Cyberpunk's probably like 40K if I had to guess.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't know off the top of my
I
head
think it's
what.
like 40 to 50. I
Hmm.
think it was 50 as of last year. Like
Okay.
they did another census and it was like 50K. That's pretty crazy though, because you think about it, that's like what, like 50 years of time. The population increased like 5 times.
It's
That's
also
insane.
in the recent time because I remember in high school I checked and it was in high school. I remember we were at like 36,
That
38K.
wow. That means
Like
yeah.
early high school probably. So we have been moving quickly. But I do want to say something off of what you said. You said
Yeah.
Crossroads earlier.
Yeah.
Dayton, in particular, was actually back in the 1700s before it was all established.
Right. Yeah.
Dayton's name of the town of this general area was called the Crossroads.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what this
Yeah.
section was called. And right where Taverna is, it's actually called the Five Corner Intersection.
Yes, yeah.
And that is what the Crossroads were, and that's what the both
Yeah.
of the middle schools are named
Exactly.
after Crossroads.
I thought
dude, South Brunswick has lore, all right?
when I
This is
learned
a
about
great
that,
town.
it blew my mind because like I never thought about like why our middle schools were called Crossroads.
Yeah,
was
I
like,
don't know. I've also never thought of that.
because in America places are just random.
Yeah, things
So
are just
you're-
called things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're just like, okay, Crossroads, whatever. And I looked into it, I'm like, wow, South Brunswick was actually like, it was a real crossroads town. It connected like Route 130 was actually like a huge road used back in the day, back when there was like horses and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Same thing with Route 1. And South Brunswick connected like everything. Route 27, Route 130, Route 1. Like it was meant to be a
Yeah.
town that was kind of in between everything and connecting all the roads. And that place right there was one of the major crossroads.
The five
Crazy.
corners.
It's
And I think it's
insane.
crazy that even when you said back then in the 1700s, 1800s, it was a very central point between Philly and New York.
Yeah.
Which, if you go back to episode 1 in my whole life, anytime someone asks me where we are, I always say we're in between these two big cities. So, some things never change. And South Brunswick is proving me time and time again. It's only in reinforcing things I've said about the town.
And that's the funny thing. Like even in modern times, I would say like South Brunswick is a great town because of that. Like we're so close to two major cities, and we mentioned that, like you said, like in the first probably episode, like we're an hour away from both cities. Like
Yeah.
it's a good place. It's good schools. It has quality, like it's a good quality of life in
Yeah.
general. And you're in between, all these cities. It's like, come on, what more could you ask for at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean Dayton actually. From Dayton, you can hop in your car and go down Route 130, and you could be in the park and ride,
Yeah.
which takes you straight to any of those two cities in a
Exactly.
matter of I mean, the buses take a little bit longer, but
Yeah, but you could.
yeah,
still,
you have. It's funny enough, exactly. You still have access so close to the five corners,
Exactly.
to the two big cities. So
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to me how that this town has kind of developed over the years. I also learned that apparently 522, which is like the name of the podcast, they developed 522 in a way that it's kind of like its own timeline. Like I believe from what I remember, it was either east to west or west to east, but they started developing it from one side and obviously ended up to the other. But if you actually like look at the buildings and the establishments and all the housing, it's like its own timeline. Like you could see like it started in like 1930s, whatever, and then as you move forward, like the buildings were built like 1940, 1950s.
right, the buildings age more and more as you go
So
across,
if you
yeah.
drive down 522, it's like you're driving down a timeline, which I thought was really cool. Like it's like its own kind of little thing, which you could say about some other places too. But the unique thing about 522 is that it's specifically in South Brunswick only, from one side to the other. So
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool detail.
Yeah, 522. That is a good point. I wonder. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could just carbon date the houses over and just slowly
Yeah.
see the progression of the town. I mean, the house we're currently in right now is its official date was 1906. But when my
Wow.
contractor was doing work in the house, he said he found 2x4s from like 1870.
Yeah, I remember.
So, oh God, and I'm sure this has to be a very original old area too.
I would assume. I mean, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, we are right by the five corners too.
Yeah. So I assume it's like every structure here is probably old. Even like there's a church down the road, which I assume that's been there since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I'm sure like Taverna's also been here for hundreds of years.
So I wonder if the quarry, the other side of 522, where it meets Route 1, is that, or it might be somewhere in the middle. Who knows? I don't know.
I would say I don't know, maybe somewhere in the
Because
middle.
everything by the high school is new.
Yeah, that
right?
entire area is new. That's why I was like, I couldn't remember if it was east to west or west to east.
Hmm.
But if I had to guess, it would make more sense if it was west east because all the way to the east is by Route One is the
Right.
new developments and stuff. There's new housing over there. And I don't know. I should have looked it up, but I have no clue how old that strip mall is where Giuseppe's is. I'd love to know when that was built because I can't remember if that was necessarily new or old. I know the housing around there is relatively new-ish.
Even the Giuseppe's like strip mall itself, the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah.
has to be new. That doesn't look like
That's
old
what I thought too, but I
because there's also nothing there. It's just an empty parking lot. That strip mall and
the old Stop and Shop, which is
yeah,
probably yeah.
because if you go right over across the street from Five Corners, one of the intersections, there's like a laundromat,
Yeah,
pharmacy.
yeah,
There,
yeah.
that used to be another tavern on that
Yeah,
plot.
you can tell that
Yeah,
structure is really
exactly,
old.
for sure.
First of all, that pharmacy looks like it's from like the
Yeah.
1900s, and I'm
Yep.
surprised they're still around. But yeah, that everything there looks extremely old. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case, if it was a really old building. Um, so you know how we talked about the South Brunswick Police Department a lot,
Mm-hmm.
in the first couple of episodes.
Right.
I actually learned something pretty interesting about that, which was there was no South Brunswick police force for a long time. I think they finally like came together and made one in like 1930s,
Wow.
1940s. Before that, it was actually the NJ state troopers would come here and do patrols every now and then. Like
Hmm.
they didn't have their own police force.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, the state government itself would send troopers here and be like, "All right, let's check it out, see if there's anything going on, whatever." And they just leave. Like there would
That makes sense because
Yeah.
even in 1930s, there must have been like no one here
Exactly,
still.
yeah.
Yeah, because if you go to, we'll have an episode at PRS at some point.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they have like a lot of old hung up news clippings and
Yeah, photos.
plaques and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you look at when Piers was established, it was like the only thing on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
road, on George's Road.
Which is no
So
surprise because even now there isn't really anything on that road. I mean, there's a church, there's Pierre's, and there's a bunch of housing and schools.
Yeah.
But like other than that, it's a pretty empty road. It's really interesting. I really wish I could go back in time and see what South Brunswick looked like back in the day. Just
you
because,
can
like,
go on Google Maps and at least go back to like '08.
yeah. I mean, like really far back, like in the
Yeah,
1900s.
yeah.
I actually wanted to go to the library to see
Yes,
if they
we will
had
do an
anything.
episode.
Yeah, I wanted to see if they had some type of like
They will.
photos, maps of like old South Brunswick. I hope they do. But yeah, I just want to see, like kind of a little bit more.
South Brunswick it's a town that I think does care about its history. And one thing
Yes.
I learned about just by doing research across my time living is
Yeah.
libraries have a lot of data and news clippings and articles and just storage that you would have never ever thought.
Yeah.
And South Brunswick not only is an old library, but I think it's a well kept library. I did volunteering there back when I was like I think 11th or 12th grade of high school.
Really? I
Yeah, I
didn't know
did.
that.
I
I didn't
did.
know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did volunteering there.
What?
I was one of the star. I might save this for the
library
library
episode?
episode. But just know, if you receive books from South Brunswick Library in the years 2014 and 2015,
Yeah.
there's a pretty good chance I sent them to you. So if you're in like Dunellen, or however you pronounce that town's name, and you went to
Yeah.
the Dunellen Library and you ordered a book and it came from South Brunswick, pretty good chance
What?
I
Dude,
packed
I
it.
didn't know this. That's like
Oh
that's
yeah, dude.
kind of like,
I was an ace shipper, dude. The librarians literally couldn't even fathom the speed at which I packed books. They were like, "Wait, are you done?" I'm like,
they're probably
I'm
also
done.
used to volunteers who didn't give a shit about what they're doing.
"Yeah,
And
just like don't like not doing
yeah,
anything."
and you were over here like fucking double overtime, and they're like, what?
Because the logic was, if I was finished, I would just leave.
Yeah.
I would just leave early, and I would get the full credit for time
right.
served, basically.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, we'll
actually
save that for a
pretty
library
interesting.
episode.
We'll definitely save that for the library
Yeah.
episode. I also do want to do. I was actually thinking about doing an episode at Taverna. I don't know how open they'd be willing to do it, but
I think they would do it.
yeah, because I was thinking like these people probably love they probably love South Brunswick as much as we do.
Yeah.
Like they're in such a historical building. If they were like, oh, you guys are doing a South Brunswick podcast, yeah, sure. Like
We
come
could
in.
film it outside. Like I don't mind.
Yeah, we can also
we
film
don't
it.
need.
Yeah, we could do we could do a back-to-back episode where we go to Taverna, walk across the street, and do it in Wawa.
Oh my
type-
god,
type
that'd be
deal.
crazy.
But yeah, I also the only other thing that I kind of read up on was like how that area right over around the corner with all the warehouses and stuff,
Mhm.
and even I want to say closer to Route 1 on 522, a lot of that development, what it used to be there was just like farms and cornfields, which is obviously makes sense,
Right.
right? You look down that road towards Cranberry, it's like all, wide open areas. but it really kind of like blew up and became like a hub for logistics because of like the whole crossroads thing, which obviously it makes sense in theory, but like it's one of those things where I don't ever think about until like, I looked into all this information about South Brunswick, where they slowly developed a lot of like warehouses and stuff because of how, it was such a central area, to all these different hubs. It's right off the turnpike, Route One, everything, and it just like completely blew up, in the past, I want to say 10 to 20 years. Because it was definitely not like that when I moved here.
No,
I don't
definitely
think
not.
there wasn't.
There may have been a warehouse. There may have been like a
Exactly.
few warehouses.
Yeah, but now it's like millions and millions of square feet of warehouses. Like it's pretty crazy how much expansion that's been done, in the last years, and even housing, right? Like I'd say, I mean, I think we mentioned this before, but when was Dean's Pond built, like or expanded into? It was pretty like recent.
That's a great question. I'm actually not sure. I know on the South Brunswick history website, like it mentions Dean's Pond.
Yeah, yeah.
And how they like the reason it's called Dean's Pond is because there's a creek there, right?
Yeah.
So like they made that brook there, and then they decided to like establish houses, and like then they called it Dean's Pond. I gotta look into it more. I should have.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
the Monmouth Junction episode.
Yeah. I would say it's maybe like, I don't know, like 50 years at most. Like I wouldn't even know, but it's pretty.
Revere Road in Dean's Pond is the newest thing built. That was built around 2000, like in the
early 2000s.
like early like mid 2000s,
Yeah.
because Revere Road just didn't exist.
Right.
Like that wasn't a part of everything else came after. And actually the whole Yorktown section of Dean's Pond, where it's closer to the middle school, closer to Crossroads North,
Right, yeah.
that section is also new.
Yeah.
So it was just where I in the Potomac and Potomac and Lexington section.
Right.
That is old, and then the other side is also old.
Okay.
But then Revere and Yorktown is all new.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I'd have to guess like it's probably like decades at most. Like it's not. Yeah, it's pretty new. Another old area is.
Well, actually, I can tell you, I know my house is roughly 30 to 40 years old. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's
so
when it
30,
was
40,
probably roughly built. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's super new. Yeah, South Brunswick's kind of like a newly developed area, I would say, throughout the years. I also think the other area that's old that no one really kind of like thinks about is the area near the karate center and like Delisias and stuff. I feel like that area, it just feels like one of those like old. It used to be like Main Street kind of town, kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't know how old that building Delisia is in, but I have to assume that's probably also one of the older structures in the town.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty old. Yeah, that's a pretty old structure. Although the karate center, I know the karate center is the second karate center, because I know there was a North Brunswick karate center.
Right. Yeah.
Well, back when I used to do it, and it was Family Karate.
Right. Yeah.
Super Center. That is the second one. There used to be a North Brunswick one, so I know that building can't be too old. The karate center building.
Right.
Although before the karate center, it was actually a fire station.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
We will absolutely have a karate episode, and Dean will be on the karate episode because me and Dean did karate together.
We'll definitely do that.
We will talk about that. Oh, dude. The same with there's be infinite middle school stories, there'll be infinite karate stories too. I'm telling you, and that's important, dude. That is South Brunswick.
That is South Brunswick.
That is South Brunswick. We're not gonna glaze over that.
And then I guess the new fire station is the one that's right down the street from here, right?
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yes. That has to be new. Yeah, actually, it's weird. I never thought about where the fire station is. I don't think I've ever had to like interact with the fire station any type of way. It's weird.
I don't think I've had to. Yeah, no. Although there were a couple houses that burned down in Dean's Pond, which we'll talk about on a Dean's Pond episode.
Yeah,
there's a lot of lore in Dean's Pond too.
Right. Yeah. And then there's the we were gonna mention some weird spots down in that same area by the karate center. You know how there's that one restaurant by the corner that has changed hands?
Yeah.
Like 50
man.
billion times.
Yeah. If you live in South Brunswick, you know about that spot.
You know exactly what we're talking about. There's a restaurant near the karate center, right at like that sharp turn.
Yes.
That has probably changed names and changed hands. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, probably like 50 times in the last, like, I don't know, 20, 30 years or whatever. Have you ever actually been to one of those?
I have never been to a single restaurant that maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the problem.
No,
I'm not supporting my local community.
It's funny. I've been there once, and it was like a diner where they serve like breakfast or something, like pancakes or whatever. That's my only memory there.
Really?
I have been there one time.
Wow.
This had been like 15 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
It was a long
that's
time
crazy.
ago. And then it's become like an Indian restaurant back to a diner. I don't even know.
It's definitely been an Indian restaurant like every second time for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that location. I guess it's in a weird spot, but like nobody.
I think there's just some locations that are cursed, man. Like no matter what you
Yeah.
do, like there's just some places you just can't work. I think there's also one across the street from, I don't know what it is now. I think now it's actually a pretty solid place. But I think where on 27 there's a place called Delhi Chat or Chatpuri Delhi. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That place, where that place currently stands, if you look it up, that place would churn over like crazy.
Where in 27 is that?
It's right next to CVS. The
Okay. Oh,
plaza
yeah,
next to CVS.
Okay,
It might not be specifically that place, but in the plaza next to CVS,
I know what
think
you're
next to
talking about, yeah.
Domino's, maybe.
Yes.
Somewhere in there, there's one place that like consistently turns over because it's always an Indian place. It might just be a money laundering scheme. I don't know. The more and more I think about it, because I don't know. I'll have to do some research. I'll get back to you on that.
If anything, now that you mentioned that, I want to know what's going on with the property at that place near the karate center, because like I want to know like what's the evaluation of it? Like how is
Dude,
it?
what I find fascinating is that place. Ever since it stopped being a fire station, it's every time it turns to a karate studio. This is the third, or ever since Family Karate Super Center, this is the third or I think fourth different like karate place, and it's like it's a full new staff. They change out the mats every time. It's like a fully new. I guess it's just a really good space for karate. Which again, I'll break it down how a former fire station can become a karate center.
Right,
it actually was pretty genius, but
that's so cool. I didn't know it changed hands. I always thought it was like maybe it changed hands twice at most, because I didn't think it would be that.
No,
many.
this is third, but it could be very well could be the fourth karate studio there.
That's interesting. I mean, it's kind of similar how the other place is always a restaurant, even though I'm sure you could turn it into literally anything else. What's the school that's right behind that restaurant or right nearby the karate center? It's like fuck, I forgot what it's called. It's like Monmouth Junction something, right? Elementary school.
Right by the karate center.
Yeah, there's an elementary school right, literally right like 2 minutes away from that karate center. You don't know about it?
No, I know there's a restaurant. But I couldn't tell you. I've
you
never
know
been
the
there.
name of
I don't
it?
know.
Yeah, it's like Monmouth. I think it's just like Monmouth Junction Elementary. I don't even know. It's like something like that. But yeah. I'm trying to see what else. Something about. Oh, I was gonna say, since this is like a very like location kind of like based thing, I kind of wanted to quickly gloss over the spots for where the police are posted up, only because I think
this is a great topic.
I think I read something about how back in the day, that exact spot where police are posted up by the church, the state police used to be at that very spot too, like to patrol that one road. So I just thought it was really funny how literally 100 years ago, police were at that spot patrolling, trying to like, I don't know what they used to fucking look out for, but now police are posted up at that same spot trying to give people speeding tickets. I just thought like shit never changes, bro.
Old habits die hard, man.
They didn't even have a police force back in the day, and yet South Brunswick police today use that same exact spot.
For what it's worth, it's
so
an
funny,
insane vantage point, because I know like it overlooks what is that off of George's
dude,
new road, major road. I'm terrible at South Brunswick,
dude. What's funny? Before this episode, I was like, okay, we're doing a South Brunswick specific episode. I gotta read up on all the roads because we're gonna sound like fucking idiots who've lived here for like almost 30 years. And
Kingston Lane.
Yes.
So
Kingston
that road
Lane.
looks over Kingston Lane, right?
Yeah.
Like very well.
Yeah.
But people don't realize not only does it look over Kingston Lane, but if they were to just hypothetically look left,
it
also catches George's Road.
Yes, yeah.
So if you're flying down George's Road, and
they'll see you.
You're done.
Yeah.
It's actually an ingenious location.
It's genius, and it's funny because every time I drive down George's towards that like turn to the right towards where I live, I always look right to see if the police are posted up there. Yeah, like right there before you even make the turn.
It's so crazy because like the cops are there so often to where like they don't even need to be there. You would have to be an absolute idiot to fly down Kingston. If you're going 55 on Kingston, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to tell you.
I for some reason like sometimes I don't even look. You're right. I literally don't even look, and I'm like, I'll after you pass that spot and you're like past Crossroads South, sometimes I'll kick it up a little bit. I'm like, I'm like, usually there's no police there, and sometimes there actually is.
I'm talking about from like where Crossroads South starts all the way to Pierre's. If you're speeding
right there,
you're cooked.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think most people know that too.
Actually, I have a great story about getting pulled over on
Go for
that
it.
road.
Shoot it.
Not me. I didn't get pulled over. So this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
back in senior year of high school.
Okay.
When me and we'll bleep the name out. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
When me and we would basically trade off what day we would drive to school. So
Right.
like one day he would drive his Infinity, which was great, and the other day I would drive my tiny little boxed Mazda 3
Right.
station wagon, or not station wagon, hatchback. So this was a day where he was driving, and basically, you know how if you're going on George's Road and you turn onto Kingston
Yeah.
versus on the other side of the street, if you're going down George's,
Right.
turning left onto Kingston, it's a 2-lane road.
Yeah,
In theory, both people can
Yeah, I
merge
know
at the
what you-
same time.
I know
A
what
lot of people don't really realize that, but
Dude, I want to go into this. You see, fucking bring this up.
yes.
If
If you live in South Brunswick, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
If you live in South Brunswick, you probably you're like, oh my god, I can't believe
I can't believe someone else is talking about this.
Okay, how many times have you, when you're making a right turn, right on
Yes.
that church,
Right from
do
George's
you
on to
go
Kingston.
into the right lane or you go straight to the left lane?
Oh, I always stay in the right lane because I don't trust anyone making that left turn.
Because I always go in the
Unless
left
there's
lane.
no one there, then I'll go into left lane for sure.
So it's funny you say that because even if there's someone there, I guess I'm an asshole. I still go in the left lane because I know in my mind that person's yielding for me. Like I don't know in my mind because I also know if you don't live here, you would think, why is this guy turning? There's 2 lanes. You know, like why are you turning into my lane? I just for some reason in my head I'm like they'll yield for me. They know like because. I also look at other people. I would say 95% of the time, people just go straight in the left lane. Even if there's someone like on the other side, they never go into the right lane.
So yeah, I agree. It's one hell of a turn.
Yeah.
And because it's one hell of a turn, we were, my friend was driving to high school, which is obviously down Kingston, and basically there was a Toyota Rav4, or it was some type of SUV, and it basically cut us off.
Okay.
In that little situation.
Sure.
So then he speeds up his car.
In
this
the right
guy
lane.
speeds up his car. So now
Okay.
we're both effectively drag racing to get out on top.
Because you merge in the end.
Exactly.
You didn't bring that up. Yeah, you merge at the end.
And because I knew we were kind of in the back, so it wouldn't happen. I think he was speeding up just to like kind of prove a point that like, hey, you shouldn't have cut us off, whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
So he speeds down before the guy who cut us off speeds down. And then we notice the cop that's in the parking lot. So the cop pulls out behind us. He's freaking out, right? Because we're like high schoolers driving to school. Like we don't want it. Like we are not trying to get pulled over. This is the worst case scenario. So the cop is like right on our ass.
Dude, just bang it down
Like,
Crossroads South and just
There's
fucking...
no way. He's right behind us. So the cop is like on our ass, but he's like swimming behind us. He's not like straight behind. So I'm like, dude, don't worry. I think he's gonna just like go and like pull over the guy in front of us.
Sure.
The second we merge onto 522, at 522 pod on the podcast on Instagram, and the second we pull onto 522, the cop overtakes us and pulls the other guy over. And dude, we've never been more hyped at like 7 a.m. in the morning. We were going crazy.
Wait,
awesome.
so the guy sped up enough to where you couldn't cut him, right? Like
Yes.
towards him, or he went past.
So he obviously
that
was
makes sense,
going
yeah.
faster than we were
Right,
going.
yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So that was an awesome story on the way to high school in senior year.
That's
on
funny
522.
because I don't think I've ever seen anyone get pulled, or that at least a cop pull out of that parking lot to pull someone over. I just know they're always there. So that's the first story I've ever heard of someone actually getting pulled over by a cop in that spot. That's crazy. That's wild.
That's a good point. You don't see people pulled over on Kingston too often, huh?
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it maybe like in the I mean, maybe I have a terrible memory, but in the last like 10 years, I've seen it maybe happen like twice.
And if it
most.
does happen, I feel like it happens more near the library. Have you ever seen someone pulled over in front of the church?
No,
never.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally
I've
never.
never seen anyone pulled over at the church. I see it on George's, right? I see a lot. I see George's. I wouldn't say often, but definitely like significantly more than Kingston. I feel like I've seen maybe like 8 times people pulled over. It's usually right by the middle school too. Middle school, right in front of Dean's Pond. And very rarely closer to Rasoy, but that's pretty rare. I think it's mostly like further down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been pulled over right in front of Dean's Pond before, so yeah.
Yeah, I've also been pulled over right in front of Dean's Pond.
Yeah.
Not Dean's Pond, sorry, right in front of the middle school, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really see people pulled over down that road, which is interesting because that's the main area they're looking at. Have you ever seen a cop in the library parking lot?
I've seen a cop exit the library parking lot, but I don't think he was patrolling. I think he literally was just like at the library, just like doing a quick loop around. Because also cops will do cops do loop around in your neighborhood? Because I have 100%. Oh yeah, they in Dean's Pond 100%.
No, I think they only come to my neighborhood if something happens. Like I've never seen.
Oh no,
I've never seen
cops. No, they're not. It's not like normal in terms of like they're not going to be patrolling every single day. But if
Right.
you were to look, I guarantee you, out of 7 days a week, a cop will patrol through Dean's Pond at least
That's pretty
4 to
interesting.
5 times.
I don't think I've ever really seen that. But I actually know one of Do you know if any police officers live in your neighborhood?
Police officers live in
Yeah.
the neighborhood. I don't know.
Because
It could be. I don't know.
I
though.
know one did. Oh fuck, you probably know this kid. What's his name? His name was Chris, but I don't remember his fucking last name. I think he was a grade older than us, a grade or
We're not
two.
gonna bleep this out. It could literally be anyone. So sure.
Yeah. I think Chris is like such a generic name, but yeah, he did. His dad was a police officer in
Oh,
my
wow.
neighborhood. It was on the other side. You know how we almost always turn in the second exit because my house is closer that way. He lived like by the entrance of the
okay.
first exit. Yeah. I don't know if he still lives there or not, but yeah, I know he was a police officer. But yeah, I mean, I don't. I was gonna say I don't know if a police officer's salary can afford Dean's Pond. I'm sure they can. Police officers get paid a lot. I'm sure.
If you've been in the force for a few years, I'm sure you could afford Dean's Pond with the dual salary. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
it's also South Brunswick. We got chargers and stuff. I'm sure their budget salaries is pretty crazy.
Yeah, we got to get into the police force and like have them show us like their best equipment.
Dude,
where our tax dollars going,
listen,
baby.
I'm telling you, bro, we can do an episode at the police station.
No, we can. 100%.
There's no way they would just be like, nah, like we can't do that, blah blah. We just be like,
no.
We just want to sit in here, we'll pull up 2 chairs. We're just
respectfully. There's certain places in South Brunswick after we like record enough episodes that like I'm just not gonna take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, oh, we can't do it, I'm gonna be like, why? Like let's make this happen. Let's collaborate.
I mean, yeah, there's some obvious like Pierre's Taverna, like, bro, come on, like they're all about
like,
it.
We're
man.
not interested. It's like, no, well, I think you are interested.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I think you are.
Like, what are you talking? We've mentioned your restaurant, your establishment on the episode on the podcast already. What are you talking?
We literally we tell the people all the time we love it.
We probably directed traffic directly to your restaurant. So you know,
I've taken people to Taverna as far as I'm concerned.
I did. It's okay. This is gonna be embarrassing to admit, but we actually haven't been to Taverna like our whole lives.
Enough times, and as many times as we should have. Yeah.
Yeah, as many times as we should have.
We didn't go to Taverna, by the way, until I bought my own place.
Yeah, I think it was like probably like a year or two ago. But
Yeah.
I just want to say I have like since then told like a bunch of people to go to Taverna. I'm like, I can't believe I've never been to this place. Food's fucking
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. Like I quite like the food.
It's so good. It's like amazing quality food. It is a little bit pricey, but it's one of those places.
It's also 2026, so
it's also 2026. It's pricey, but it's also like, well, for me at least, it's pricey. I'm sure for like other people who live in like wherever, it's fine. But it's one of those places where if it's like a special occasion,
yeah.
great
I
place
mean,
to go.
there's places that are pricey that just like, how did I pay that?
Yeah.
It makes no like if you spend money at Taverna. I mean, I get it. 100%.
Yeah, their food
Yeah,
is super
I think
good,
it's
high
solid.
quality. I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to spend that money, you know, on a place like that. I just know I wrote down for some reason Cranberry was like a stagecoach shop between New York and Philly. Same thing with South Brunswick. But apparently the duration it would take to get from New York to Philly back in the day with a stagecoach was 3 days.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's dude. 3 days is like going from one coast, like West Coast to East Coast,
exactly,
and not rushing, but like
you're not like
being somewhat lackadaisical. Like you're not booking it the whole time.
Yeah, like you're willing to stay in a place, blah blah.
Yeah, that's that's crazy.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like,
Wow.
wow, because this was apparently like the middle stop. Like 3 days, you would probably stop, you know, once per day. This was one of the stops they would make in between, which is probably why there was a tavern and all that kind of stuff around this area.
Why there were so many inns and taverns. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But I thought that was pretty crazy. 3 days is like an unfathomable amount of time for me to travel from like one major city to the other. You can do that in like, what, 2 hours now in modern day?
3 hours to eat some mid cheesesteaks is crazy.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dude. That's like
3 hours to go to Pat and Gino's? Damn it. Rough.
Oh man, dude. I think we should. It wouldn't make sense for us to do a Philly podcast.
We absolutely will do a Philly podcast.
Oh, we will.
100%.
Okay. I was gonna say we could do maybe like a Cherry Hill podcast, just because like it's like.
Here's the thing. It's living in South Brunswick. This isn't about South Brunswick. It's about the South Brunswick experience.
Yes, I agree.
Which includes malls, which includes Philly,
Yes.
New York, I mean, we got to go to New York. It'll
We
happen.
do have to do a New York episode. Yeah, I think like the first episode, I kind of mentioned how this was a love letter to South Brunswick, and as much as like obviously talking about South Brunswick is, a
Yeah,
part of that, I think it's about like what it's like to actually live here and grow up here. And I think living here, one of the benefits is being able to go to Philly and New
absolutely.
York. So I think that's definitely something we should do. With actually, what, I do have something we talk about is there any interesting or weird places that you can think of in South Brunswick? Because I was thinking about this, and really the only place that kind of came to mind for like in the moment when I thought about this was how there's a like Tex-Mex kind of restaurant, like food truck in the middle of a dealership parking lot, which I thought was
Correct.
actually pretty interesting the more I thought about it, because I don't think that's very common. We have a
You don't think it's
uh,
common that there's taco trucks in dealership parking lots that are designated and don't move? They're stationary taco.
Also, yeah, it's
Okay.
also not really a food truck. It's a stationary, right? Like
Yeah.
it's there.
It's a food truck that like it literally cannot and does not move.
Yeah. But it's in the form of a truck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, there's a Toyota dealership in Dayton, right off of 130, and you actually had no clue about this until you told me. But there is a taco like Tex-Mex restaurant inside.
Tex-Mex barbecue
Yeah,
restaurant
yeah,
on the parking lot premise of this.
of the dealership, which
Not sharing the no, it literally is on the dealership land.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
the first time I went there, we asked, and the response I got was, "Oh, the manager knows the manager at the the person who owns the taco." It's
Yeah.
called Johnny Ripa's, by the way.
Yeah, Johnny Ripa's, yeah.
Free plug at Johnny Ripa's. Go eat there.
Yeah, do an episode there.
It's actually I think it's pretty solid.
It's really good. I think it is a little bit overpriced for what it is.
Yeah.
I think, but it's not like bad. Like it's good food.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's
the
really good.
person who owns Johnny Ripa's basically knew the manager at the
Dayton
Toyota,
Toyota, yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah, you can just have the land.
Does it
it's
pay
fine."
rent or something?
I
don't
think
even
they
know.
100% they do.
Okay,
But
because
it's a really big. The land is really big.
it is really big. But yeah, like you said, it's not like they're sharing. Like it's two different establishments like sharing the same parking lot. They're just in the parking.
They're just
lot.
in the parking lot.
Yeah, like it's in the middle parking lot, and it's actually pretty popular. I think not popular, but like it has good. I guess
It runs. Yeah, I think it opened
Yeah.
right after COVID, so it hasn't been there forever.
Yeah, I had
But
no clue about
it
that.
runs pretty solidly.
Yeah, when we went, there was like a line of people, and when we went, was this the time where there was like old school cars and stuff in the parking lot? You remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, there were
That
a
was
couple.
that time, right? Yeah, they were
Yeah.
having some type of like, I don't know.
They have events there. I know they have events there. They'll do like
Yeah.
little pop ups. Like, okay, today's like, bring your family out. We're just having summer games or whatever.
right? Yeah.
And it is BYOB, so you can literally
it?
pull up. Yeah, you can pull
I
up
didn't know
with There's no. It's just a taco truck, so they just have benches outside. But
Right.
it's BYOB. You can literally pull up with a six pack,
beer, yeah.
hang out in the parking
Oh wait,
lot.
we
and
did
just-
that last time, didn't we? I don't remember if we drank in the thing, but we did have.
I think we
beer.
bought beer, and then it started raining, so we went back to.
Oh yeah,
Beans
that
Pond,
makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah. But that to me, that's one of the interesting spots in South Brunswick. I feel like that's a very like. I feel like even people who know here might not know that place exists. I definitely didn't. Like it's like not.
There's a lot of places in. I mean, we're specific. Where this is the Dayton episode, basically.
Yeah.
What Jason's referencing is in Dayton, and there's a lot of like small cool things in Dayton. I was telling Jason the other day, there is a specialist Ferrari
Oh yeah, I had no
like
clue about
mechanic
this.
in South Brunswick.
Yeah.
It's called J Scuderia. Go
Shout
check
out to
out
them.
J Scuderia.
Yeah, if you own a Ferrari.
If you own a Ferrari, what are you doing? Go to J Scuderia.
Yeah,
Why are
yeah,
you
yeah.
going to Route 1?
Yeah, why are you getting it serviced at an expensive
Yeah.
official
Go
Ferrari
check out J
dealership?
Scuderia.
Yeah. They
And
got
he
you.
literally is just like a family-run Ferrari specialist.
Yeah.
In South Brunswick. And for those who aren't car people and I'm just like, okay, that's random. Why is that important?
Yes.
People who own Ferraris and own high-end cars, they will transport their cars cross country to get them serviced at special locations if they can't go to a Ferrari dealership.
Right.
So the fact that there is a Ferrari specialist in our hometown is actually pretty crazy.
It's rare. It's definitely a rare thing.
Yeah. The way I would kind of put it is like, let's say instead of doctors being in hospitals and hospitals being hubs for surgery, there just happens to be a local like hyper specialized surgeon in your like neighborhood.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
kind of just
much.
what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hey, the property value is going up. I think I mentioned in episode 1 that there's just very nice cars all around South Brunswick.
There
So,
are.
hey, if you got more money and you need to service your Ferrari, this
You
might
can
be the
go.
town for you.
how often do you see nice cars here? I see I see a lot of like high end vets.
I
like,
think once a week I'll see a nice car in South Brunswick.
Yeah, I don't really see that many like Lambos. I would say I probably see like 2 or 3 in South Brunswick. I've seen
There's a lot of Lambo trucks, a lot of Uruses. in
yeah,
South
yeah. I've seen
Brunswick.
Uruses definitely. Do you see Ferraris often then? Because I feel like I don't. really see Ferrari.
I see Ferraris often in. No, I'll see one Ferrari in South Brunswick at least every couple months for
Really?
sure.
I see them like
For
on 130
sure.
and stuff, but I don't know if I see them like directly in South Brunswick. Do you have any other weird
Oh
places?
yeah, I mean I am referencing with
Oh, like
130 part of
130?
South Brunswick,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay,
Or
okay.
even just I've seen a few really high end cars on George's Road too. So
Yeah. Oh, well, there's the Orange Key there that the guy. Oh,
Um,
what am I saying, dude? The guy who owns Orange Key owns a Ferrari. What am I saying?
I actually, funny enough, just today I saw a Mercedes Benz SLS AMG Gullwing
Yeah,
with the Gullwing doors, obviously,
yeah.
in South Brunswick,
Where in South Brunswick?
130.
Okay.
Shop right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember if I mentioned the Orange Key thing. That guy owns like 3 exotic cars. Like he has a Ferrari, he has a Lambo, and I forgot what last car he owned. But
I don't know.
apparently he's doing well. Orange
That
Key.
Orange Key's been there forever.
It has. That's
Anyone who
probably
knows in
also
South
like
Brunswick.
yeah, that's also like a staple of. I guess if you're looking
George's Road Orange Key, yeah.
if you're looking for a house or whatever, you could go to them.
I'm not gonna recommend a realtor that quick.
I'm not gonna recommend them because I have no clue how this guy is.
But shout out Orange Key, hey man.
Yeah, shout out to Orange Key, very unique place, Orange Building, whatever. And then there's a mechanic across the road from there. I imagine
Yeah.
that area is probably like back in the day, probably like a very central area too. Oh, you know what? The what's the Brooks Crossing Deans, right? That's the school right there. That building, I went to school there, by the way.
Oh wow.
That building, I can probably tell you, has been there for like hundreds of years because when I was there like 20 something years ago, it was already like old. I mean, you can see
Really?
the
It looks old.
dude. Inside, it's way older.
It doesn't look old. It looks what's it called? Like, would you call Princeton old? It looks.
I
like
get what you mean,
a
yeah.
like relic-y, like beautiful old.
Yeah,
type.
yeah, like it's like almost like a castle kind
Yeah.
of like type deal. Dude, the interior, the paint was peeling,
Wow.
like everything. Yeah, it was really old inside. I don't know how they might have renovated over the
That building
course.
gives me like prep school vibes.
Yeah, right.
That's
like,
I always wondered about that building because I joined South Brunswick schooling in 4th grade.
right. Yeah.
So I never went to that building. I think that building's only what, kinder and
it
first
was
grade?
it was like only like kindergarten, first
Yeah.
grade, I think, and then after that you
Yeah.
would go to Brooks Crossing, like the actual Brooks Crossing. Yeah. They might have changed it by now. I have no clue. Brooks Crossing also. I wonder when that was built. It looks like a
These
newer
are all good
building for
questions.
sure. I
These
think
are all good
Dean.
questions.
You know what? I think it's probably one of those situations where it's like north and south, where Dean's used to be the elementary school, and then obviously
Probably. Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
the population
100%.
blew up. Then they built Brooks
100%.
Crossing, just to like have all the other kids. Yeah, that was probably one of those deals.
I wish there was like a list of like when every single school opens so you could track, okay, this one opened
Yeah,
this
right?
year and this one opened this year and this one's close to this one.
Yeah,
So you could probably gauge, okay, this one overflowed, they opened this one.
yeah, because I don't
That'd
remember
be interesting.
if we mentioned this, but like I think it's pretty unique that we have like a billion different schools
Yes.
within like
8 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, 1 high school.
yeah, which is weird that there's that many elementary schools. There's like Indian Fields, Brooks Crossing Deans, Brooks Crossing, Monmouth Junction. I don't even know the other two.
There's
I don't
so
know.
many. Yeah, there's
Yeah, like
way
it's
too many.
weird that in such a small like kind of space there's that many elementary schools. But yeah, I guess that kind of just goes to show how many people are willing to kind of settle down here and whatnot. I think the only other thing I kind of thought about talking about that I feel like was relevant was kind of the pizza rivalry between Delicia and Giuseppe's. Only because like in the past like couple of weeks I've actually had Giuseppe's twice, and I'm kind of coming to your side. I think Giuseppe's is actually.
I think it's not.
It-
I think we should 100% save that for the pizza episode, but I
Oh,
will
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
weigh in. Giuseppe's is the best pizza in South Brunswick.
It kind of blew me away. I was always a
It is what it
Delicia kind
is.
of person, but recently I'm like, man, their pizza's
There's no,
pretty...
it's dude. If you line them all up, and I don't want to dog on the worst one, but the worst one is so I could be blindfolded, and I could tell which is the worst out of the three.
Wasn't there a pizza place down here before, or it used to be? Fuck, what was it called? Oh, Dusal's or whatever. You remember that place?
Dusal's is open.
Is this still? Is this
That's
still...
not here though. That Dusal's is on like 27.
Oh, fuck. No,
There's
there was
Dusal's on 27. There's a Dusal's on Ridge Road, and all the way in East Brunswick. There's 2.
There used to be a pizza restaurant like right here, and I don't remember what it's called. I thought
I
that
have
was
no
Dusal's,
clue.
or maybe that used to be Dusal's and they moved.
I
have
don't
no
know.
clue.
Maybe I have. The other Dusal's building in South Brunswick is also super old.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, I think Giuseppe's is probably the best. What are we doing for the pizza episode? We're gonna do a pizza episode? Like we're in Giuseppe's?
Has to be in Giuseppe's.
Fucking yeah. I mean, shit. You know the guy, bro. You could easily
Yeah,
just
I
go
mean-
in and be like, hey, we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be. I'm sure he'd be done.
Yeah. Where do you want to go next time?
Where do we want to go next time?
We could
We could go to Wallow parking lot.
yeah, we have options here.
Yeah, we'll set up like the actual on location restaurant one once we have a few episodes and we're actually officially
Yeah.
like,
Well, I think
rolling out.
Pierre's and Taverna, we can kind of like wait a little bit.
For sure.
I kind of want to try the high school, not in terms of like doing it soon, but I want to start reaching out to the teachers that we know. I'll probably reach out to, we'll probably bleep this or whatever if it's even still in the episode. I'll reach out to Chow, you reach out to whoever,
Lear, yeah.
and then we'll see if we can like what they say, because summer's also coming, and I assume it's easier to record when there's no kids there or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the case is, but
like
yeah,
right before like school is wrapping up.
Yeah. So I don't know what the case is.
I'm sure it'll be pretty hard to get in if it's like August.
No, yeah. I mean, if it's in like the middle of summer, but like right after school closes, I'm sure the school's still open for like teachers. I don't know, but yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, I guess that does it for this episode. We'll post some pictures. I am gonna start uploading like I'm gonna upload probably 3 posts at once just to cover the first 3, and then post like kind of pictures that correlate with each episode. If you have ideas of what kind of photos I should upload, you tell me so that I can go out and actually take these pictures. The train station by Costco, whatever, I'll take a picture of that. And some other shit. I don't know what else.
Probably Google Maps a lot of it too.
Yeah, we go
Street View a lot of it.
to save me from having to drive all over town taking these pictures. But yeah, that does it for this episode. Follow us on 522 Pod to see kind of, I guess, pictures, interact with us, all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
And whether it's 2 of you listening or 522, we love you all the same.
We love you all the same. That'll do it. Take care. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys keep watching. Thank you guys for listening, and hope you guys continue to listen to our podcast.
Go. Peace.
Peace.